Welcome to the Book Talk Babes podcast where, oh, God damn it. I'm literally reading it and I read what I wrote down wrong. Now I've got the permanent intro stuck in my head instead of the book discussion intro. Okay, let me try that again. Welcome to the Book Talk Babes podcast. Today we will be discussing Saving Verakko and Tempting Auzed by Victoria Aveline. There will be spoilers. Please check the episode description for a list of any other books that we spoil. And this episode will contain explicit language. My name is Ashley, and today I'm joined by my two lovely friends, Elaine.
Hello.
And Liana.
Hi.
All right. Thanks, returning listeners. Welcome, new ones. I'm going to cut out my mess up intro.
No, keep it in.
Maybe
I
I'll
love
keep it
when
in.
I hear.
Maybe we'll keep it in.
I love when I start to hear your intro and you just say "fuck" right in the middle.
I'm gonna
It's so real.
try really hard this episode not to say the F word so many times, because I said it quite a bit in our last episode. And I told my mom, who listens every week, I was like, yeah, I cut some of them out because I listening back was like, oh my God, I said it so much. She after she listened, she goes, how many did you cut out? Because there was quite a bit. I was like, thanks, Mom.
No. Elaine and I just need to start cussing more.
Yeah, how have I not rubbed off on y'all?
So that what you do sounds normal,
right? Yeah. And then I was listening to another book podcast that I just found, and they they don't cuss once. I'm just like, ugh, I gotta stop. I gotta wrangle myself in something. I'm out of control.
Nah.
I just get passionate, okay?
all of the funny podcasts I listen to, they cuss.
Right. Well, see, look, I'm allowed to cuss at work. So
okay.
It's not like I have to have a filter on at any point. So sometimes I don't even realize I'm saying it.
Yeah. Work made us do a training so that we can be more aware of what we're saying around people.
Yeah.
And then right after, one of my bosses was like, fuck. And they're like, oh shit, I said fuck. Like, and then sometimes she just yells out, what the fuck?
Yeah, I can't help
like,
myself.
Sorry.
That's so funny. That's so funny. Yeah. No, I don't know. What's funny is my mom, who cusses just as much as me, if not more, is the one that was like, you said it quite a bit. Like, whatever.
It's like, Mom, no one's making you listen to it.
Oh, I mean, she doesn't have to listen to it, but she is like our number one supporter.
I know.
The podcast drops at midnight, and that's about the time that she is getting up in the morning to come to work. So she listens to it every Tuesday on her drive into work.
Aww.
She's probably like one of our first listeners, except for maybe Hema. I know Hema's listened to it a couple times.
Yay. I get so excited on Tuesday morning when I see that it's been uploaded. Like, I didn't take part in recording it. It's like, oh my God, it's here. Like, yeah, I know. You talk to the person who puts them on.
I go through a very weird process. It's like we have these recordings, and I'm surprisingly awake right now, but usually I feel pretty tired. And I'm like, okay, we can do this. I can get through this. I'll be awake for this. And then we end the recording, and I have a hard time going to bed because I'm all hyped up from recording. And then I wake up the next day, and then throughout the whole editing process, I'm just like, oh, if I hear our voices one more time. And then I finish editing it. I do the final listen through, and I'm like, okay, I've heard the same shit over and over again. I'm done. It's finished. But then I also get really excited on Tuesday. And I'm like, I'm going to listen to it. I'm like, ugh.
Well, we have to be proud of our work.
Yes, I am proud of what we're doing. This is fun.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay. So how do we want to do this? Are we going to just talk about both of them interchangeably, or are we going to try to stick to Verakko first and then do Auzed? Do we have a preference? Do we care?
I don't care.
Well, for the first time we did this, we talked about Theo and then Luca, and
This
then
is true.
we talked about it.
We'll keep that.
So I think that, yeah.
Oh, I forgot. I have a couple of non-book or not related to these books necessarily things I want to say before we start.
Okay.
Did you send Liana that TikTok you sent me about the bookmarks?
The bookmarks. Oh yeah, I think I did send her that
You
one.
did? Okay.
Oh, I haven't looked. I don't get notifications on TikTok. I don't see the notifications until I open the app.
Okay, yeah, same.
Wait, let me turn down the volume before it starts blasting.
Sorry. Like, when did you send it? Did you send it today?
No, I think it was a couple days ago, right?
Oh.
I feel like it was.
So I sent it on Tuesday.
Okay.
It says
You would remember.
seen.
You'd remember it, Liana. It was very much targeted towards you.
Well, then maybe I don't want to.
It's a woman talking about how her boyfriend is reading books and stuff now, and he asked her something about bookmarks, and she's like what do you use bookmarks or something? And she's like, well, yeah. What do you do? And he goes, I memorize the page I'm on. And she proceeds to go in how that is serial killer like behavior. That anything could be a bookmark, a leaf, or a receipt, or whatever.
Yeah.
I've never really used them. Like, even as a kid, I would just memorize the page because a bookmark wasn't like readily available.
Yeah.
No, you can use anything. I've seen people like use like toilet paper, like as a bookmark. I've seen toilet paper and books. Like they eat a protein bar and they just like have the package like nice and like flat and like use that as a bookmark.
I mean, it works.
Incomplete cards that we like, card games or just cards that we get, tarot cards, we'll put as free bookmarks, and people love that so much.
I love that. I'm gonna come get one.
Yeah, I have a few tarot cards that I use as a bookmark. In fact, I think like one of the books I have the Lover's card as my bookmark right now.
Well, would you rather me memorize a page or dog ear it?
Memorize.
So there.
That's fair. Yeah, no, I have a crap ton of bookmarks. Yeah. And the ones I keep using, or the things I keep using as bookmarks instead of actual bookmarks that I own, are I've got 2 postcards my mom got me from Big Bend quite a few years ago, so I'll use those. And then my husband, we had started dating or whatever, and I was just using like the long sticky note folded in half as a bookmark. And he took it and he wrote on it, and then I laminated it at work and used that as a bookmark.
Is it something super cute?
It says, my super groovy, totally awesome, ultra suave, too cool for school, incredibly original, classy and sophisticated, seductive book page marker. Codename bookmark.
Seductive.
It's just this little plastic thing.
Okay.
Yeah. I can't remember when he wrote that.
That is cute.
It's at least, oh god, this has got to be almost 10 years old, because we started dating in like 2013.
I can't believe y'all been together that long already.
No. Very weird.
I don't know. I've been watching Sex and the City from the beginning, and it's wild that they start like Miranda, Carrie, and Charlotte, they're all like 32, 33 when it starts.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh my God. What? And they meet men so easily, but it was the 90s.
Yeah.
And it was the 90s. And like, I'm just watching them, like, I know it's a show, but it's like, what? How are you just meeting people? Like, and then I'm realizing, well, they're going out. That's why they go out in public. And then some of the guys are not cute. Ugh. Like, really?
I've never watched Sex in the City, so I don't know.
I think you should.
I see clips and stuff. I think it looks like it'd be good.
Yeah. Carrie's horrible.
Isn't that the main character?
Yeah. She's horrible. I can't stand her. Miranda, so judgy and so rude. And you know what? Charlotte and Samantha are my favorite. Like, they really are. Because, like, Charlotte, she's definitely sheltered. Well, she starts out that way at least.
Mm-hmm.
So like a lot of stuff Samantha says, like, you know, shocks her. She's like, oh my God. But Samantha and Charlotte are my favorite. Like, they both know what they want. They stick to their principles. They're unapologetically themselves, and they're like really good friends to each other. I'm like, oh, I would totally be friends with them in real life. Also, they all get so, like, Carrie and Miranda get so judgy over Samantha and her sexuality, and it's like, y'all, shut up. Like, you're just jealous because she's having fun and you're not. My friend Cynthia, she's like, you're such a Charlotte. I'm like, damn it, I am. Really am, because she's like, I believe in love, and I'm like, damn it, I believe in love too. It's like, because, you know, you're like, oh my God, are you a Miranda or a Carrie? I'm like, I'm a Charlotte. I'm definitely a Charlotte. I always thought I was a Miranda, but I'm definitely a Charlotte.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Okay.
If you have some time to like do whatever and binge, I highly recommend.
Okay. I might.
The episodes go by really quick, so
maybe I'll make that my next treadmill watching after I'm done with Bridgerton.
yeah, I've been putting on Sex in the City when I'm on the doing like my cardio.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. The other thing I want to mention real quick before we get into the book, just because it is kind of relevant to the book,
Okay.
but Elaine got us tickets to Monster Erotica Con in Baltimore next year.
Wait, when was it again?
It's May.
In May of next year. Well, I think there was one in February of next year that you said you couldn't go.
Oh, maybe that was.
Yeah.
So then I asked you again if you wanted to go to the Monster Erotica, and I never got an answer. And then, like, when I first, like, talked about it, I was like, hey, look, you were like, So I was like, okay.
Oh, well, send it again and I'll look at it.
You'll have to
They're
wait
sold
and see
out.
if they open up more tickets.
Yeah. They sold out in like 6 minutes.
That's freaking crazy. When you told me that, I was like, holy shit, like you barely got those. But yeah, we got 2 tickets. We booked the hotel.
Yes.
Can't book the flight yet.
Yay.
But should be. The reason it's relevant to this is because Victoria Aveline will be there.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be so cool.
We'll get you a signed copy of Sick Than.
Oh my God.
We'll need a quote also if you want, in case we can get it personalized.
I need y'all to read Sick Than.
Well, I will definitely have it read by then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we know it's going to come up at some point.
I have Maxu, Maladek, and then Sick Than are the ones I have left.
All right.
So, and then hopefully we get a Rego book.
I really want to see a Izzy book and a Siva.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna forget. You know I'm bad with names. There was a guy in The guy with the wings in Feiho.
Oh, him and the future queen of Verakko's city.
Yeah.
Yeah, his second in command in Feiho, right?
Yeah. I'm kind of glad, though. I mean, not glad, but like, Clecania doesn't exist. But if I was a human woman in Clecania, I mean, it'd be cool if I, like, you know, got a mate and stuff. But then I'm thinking, like, oh, there's so much pressure on me to be here. It's like, first no one wants to sleep with me, now everyone wants to sleep with me. I'm like, this is too much.
I do. Okay, let me give. Let's do the description real quick of Saving Verakko, because I do on along those lines. I do have something to say, and I think it gets brought up a lot more in Verakko than the other ones up to that point. Because what Saving Verakko is book 3.
Yes.
Okay. Why are these descriptions so long?
Trying to read out loud to the class.
Ooh. Good thing I took my medicine. When Lily is freed from alien captivity, she refuses to wait for rescue or recapture. She'll take her chances in the forest. Navigating the exotic terrain won't be easy, but it beats the alternative. Then an enormous alien falls into her camp and makes her question everything. He's rude, grumpy, and annoyingly sexy. Trusting him would be a mistake, and yet the idea of leaving him behind hurts way more than it should. Verakko is supposed to liberate the kidnapped humans, then return home to fulfill his obligations. Getting dropped into the forest at the feet of the most confounding female he's ever met was not on the agenda. So he'll help her. Then they'll go their separate ways. That's the plan, until he starts to suspect that Lily is his mate. She doesn't trust easily. He has secrets and responsibilities he can't avoid forever. Only one thing is clear. If Lily and Verakko want their happily ever after, they'll have to fight more than the dangers of the forest to get it. Ooh. Okay. Now that I read the whole book.
You did it.
Out loud. To continue what you were saying about like the whole like being a human and the pressure and stuff on there, this book does a good job of like, this one and the next one we're going to talk about do a good job of like, I feel like explaining how the different cities on this planet want to approach and treat humans. So like where they're at now with the queen and stuff, like she's letting them have, you know, rights, letting them have access to birth control if they want it, and not force them into, you know, relationships and marriages, and all that. But like these other cities, not gonna get the same kind of treatment at all. Because Verakko even says, like, you know, if he were to recognize Lily as his mate, like his mom, who's the queen of their city, would expect Lily to stay there and be with him, whether she wanted to or not. Not all of Clecania is great. Now that we have more information.
So, let's start at the beginning then. Lily... I can't make words right now.
No, so, well, okay. So Lily... So book 3 picks up at the same, like, kind of starting-ish point as book 2. She's in the same bunker as Luca and Alice. Right?
Yes.
Okay. I was like, I wrote these names down earlier, damn it.
Yeah.
So she's in the same bunker. So when Alice and Luca and the other women get free, that's when she gets free. And that's where her story starts. And so they're waiting for either more aliens to come or they can run away in the forest, which I did write down one question.
It's Lily and Alex that are the ones that run.
Lily and Alex decide to run, which are books. Lily is book 3 and then Alex will be book 4. They're the only two out of the group that decide to tough it out in the forest. not knowing what we know about Clecania and the Clecanians that are going to rescue them, what would y'all have done? Would y'all have risked the forest or risked the unknown of more aliens capturing you, not knowing that they're good guys?
You know what? I hate to say it, but I can't risk death in a forest.
I was gonna say I don't think I could survive.
If I had Lily's, if I had Lily's knowledge of survival skills, maybe. But even then, like, it's an alien planet. Like,
yeah, you don't know. Like, it's hard enough on Earth trying to figure out what will and won't kill you or poison you.
Yeah.
At least, you know, one point to the alien captors, they kept him fed and clean.
Yeah.
There would have been hopefully another opportunity to try to escape.
Yeah.
Yeah, they kept him clean and fed. So there was that.
This is true. Yeah, I don't think I would make it in. I mean, I'm sure my dad would like to say that I would make it somewhat in the forest, but I'd probably end up getting some sort of food poisoning.
Yeah. I mean, like, I wouldn't even know if the water is okay to drink after I boil it.
Yeah.
Or if
That's
I
true.
could even, like, eat the fish or the berries. Like, I don't know what's going to kill me.
That's true.
Even though Clecanians are compatible with humans, like, you know, their whole digestive system has an entirely different microbiome. Like, I wouldn't even, no. And then, like, all the creatures that are in that forest. No.
Yeah.
But, you know, good for her. Good for her and Alex for really trying. Also, like, Lily is in, like, flats the whole time.
I know. Yeah, she was in ballet flats with, like, a little ankle strap or something. I was like, oh, no.
Yeah. And which made me, like, because I don't know why. For some reason, I was thinking, like, they were abducted in, like, the sleeping clothes the way that the women in Ice Planet were.
Yeah.
Because they, like, abducted you during the night. But, like, these women, they're just, like, randomly abducted, like, wherever they were and whatever they were wearing.
Well, you would also think as long, like, how long they were actually in that bunker, like, that they would have been, like, given some sort of, like, test subject clothes and shoes or something. Yeah. I'm thinking, like, prison uniform, like, you get little slip-on shoes and a jumpsuit.
Like a change of clothes at least.
Orange
but
is the
I
new
guess
black.
they were using the shower to clean their clothes too.
Yeah, that foam, I guess, cleans everything.
Yeah.
She was going in the jungle with skinny jeans and ballet flats. I'm like, all right, go for it. Yeah. You go, girl.
Right.
So she and Alex, I think they're together for about a week, right?
I believe so, yeah.
After they break out, and then Alex goes over a waterfall, and
I think it's like mud that slips, and
she's like on the edge of like the side of something, and the ground falls beneath her, and Lily catches her, and then they both end up falling into the river rapids.
Yeah, and then they get separated.
Yes.
And then I think Lily's in there for another, like, couple days before Verakko falls on.
Before he literally
falls
drops
in her
out
camp.
Of the sky.
Yeah.
See, her man literally fell out of the sky. Why can't that happen to me? Like, I don't understand it.
Well, I don't think the men on this planet have the healing capabilities that the Clecanians have.
I thought it was funny that all you hear, like, she sees him fall and you just hear like a big, like, ow. And then he's just laying there. It's funny.
Yeah.
But I know that Verakko's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
This hurts.
Well, that and he's terrified of heights.
Yeah. Also, dear reader, he is green.
Well, okay. He's like a chameleon. He can change.
And he has fangs.
He like changed colors.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he does have fangs.
Fangs. I think he has pointy ears.
This is the most
he does have pointy ears.
alien-looking guy we get so far.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think, honestly, he doesn't have like chameleon skin though. He has like people skin.
No, it's people skin, but it can change.
It can change color.
Yeah.
Camouflage him.
Yes.
Oh, and he has powers. He can they call it sway, but it's basically like the Imperious curse.
Mind control.
I was like Jedi mind power.
Jedi mind trick.
The Force.
Yeah.
He can't move objects with it. Just persuade people.
Yeah.
But that doesn't seem to work on any of the humans.
Mm-mm. A lot of alien stuff doesn't work on humans.
Like what?
Oh, I mean, like, so in Maladek, without, this isn't a spoiler thing.
Oh, okay. I was like, don't spoil me.
No. Well, no, actually, at the end of Feiho, because you've read Feiho.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's like
that song thing. Yeah.
Yeah, a song that a certain type of
aliens
species emit.
Oh, yes.
And the humans aren't hypnotized by it, but everyone else is.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
But yeah, so he's definitely the most alien of the men we meet so far. He has pointy ears and fangs, and he can change his skin color, and he has like mind control. And so, but he's a human where it counts.
I did like when he tried to sway her for the first time, and she's like, don't do that again. What the fuck did you just do? It's like, that didn't work.
He's like, wait, let me try again.
I was like, it's not quite mind control. It's like persuasion. Like, he was trying to persuade her to calm down. And she's like, what the hell did you just try to do to me?
It's highly suggestive.
Yes.
So he literally crashes into her camp. And then he attempts to kill her. Kind of like,
does he?
Like Theo. Well, a little bit, because she's like looking over him. That's right. Yeah, she tries to give him aid, and he like flips out and like pins her down, and like doesn't he like put a knife to her or something, or he just pins her down, something like that.
I think he just pins her down with his arms.
Yeah. So not a great first meeting, because she's like, dude, what the hell? And then she's like, you can leave. I'm fine. Leave me alone. And he's like, no, because I said that I would protect the humans. And you're dumb for wanting to stay out here.
He is impressed, though, that she's made it that long.
Yeah.
And he does not have any sort of wilderness survival skills the same way she does, at least. He's got military training, basically, but
which, I mean, in the military they teach you survival, so, but maybe not in Clecania. But actually they're kind of end up stuck there because he doesn't have a communicator or anything.
They're stuck basically walking.
He tries to convince her to go with him. I think in the opposite direction. She's like, no, Alex went that way, so I need to go that way.
Because he wants to go back to Tremonta, where the rest of our humans are at. Because if they go in the direction that she wants to go in, it's going towards his city. Or it goes towards 2 other cities or whatever. And one of them's his city, and that's the one where humans have not been introduced there yet.
Well, and isn't the other one where Alex ends up, it's also not,
I believe so,
the most hospitable, welcoming.
It's just not the most human friendly, like Tremonta. It's again, they don't have any humans there yet, but they do know of the humans. They all know of the humans. The leaders do, at least.
And then from my understanding, like the city that Alex ends up in, they don't even really like Tremontans or anyone else.
No, they're very
So-
they're like a, I don't know. I felt like I interpreted it more of them being more like an what did he say? Like sacred. They find certain things of the forest like are sacred and whatnot. And it's not a big city. They live in the forest, like in tree houses. Like I was picturing like the Ewoks.
I was picturing like Avatar.
Oh, or that. Yeah, there you go. Avatar. That's good because they have the tails.
I was picturing Avatar. Yeah. And they're also blue. And they have pointy ears.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember if they were blue or not. But yeah.
But, you know, they still have all the tech.
Blue.
Yeah, they do still have all the tech, but they just don't live in like the skyscrapers and stuff of Tremonta. So.
Yeah. Gosh, Lily and Verakko really like get it on like within like a couple days, which is wild. But then I guess it's like the mate pull thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There was definitely some sexual tension that was building up and feelings, even though they were both, you know, she didn't want anything serious.
Also, she's like, I don't know you.
Well, yeah.
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 But they keep flirting and whatever and like teasing each other. And then finally she's just like, fuck it.
But they don't they do those tropes, you know, like the witty banter back and forth. There's like a couple times where like he saves her from something and then there's like, oh yeah, you're so strong. And then of course there's like the signature 2 people 1 bathing pond thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was in the cave.
And he
yeah,
you know, he like lifts up her bra and he's like, what's this? And it's like lacy and everything.
Yeah.
And she's like, don't worry about it. And then he's like, you know, I need a bath too. And she's like, no, you don't. And he's like, yeah, I do. I'm filthy. And
are you talking about the river?
Yeah.
Okay, I was skipping ahead.
Yeah. So it does all these.
Yeah, she tasks him to build a fire with her, you know, little contraption. And she's like, it'll take him forever. It took me so long to master it. So she gets butt ass naked in the shallow part of the river. And then he shows up. And she's like, what the hell are you doing here?
He's like holding her like bra, right? And he's like, what is this?
Yeah,
and she's like, oh my God.
She's like, put that down. Yeah. No, I was jumping ahead to the cave scene.
Yeah, there's a signature like, oh, we have to bathe in the river scene.
Yeah.
Oh, and she teaches him how to play checkers.
Oh, yeah, that was cute.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets mad because he loses. After the bath, they get a little handsy with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when he uses his sway and she lets him.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, but what we don't know, well, we know, but she doesn't know. He's engaged this whole time.
No, yeah.
I mean, yeah. Can you call it engaged?
He's promised to somebody.
I mean, I guess he's like betrothed or whatever.
That's engaged.
He's signed his mom has made an arrangement for him and he has signed a contract to be with someone or whatever.
The future queen of.
But I mean, doesn't he tell her that he's unavailable at that point? He just doesn't tell her that it's to like the future queen of his city.
I don't think he fully says it.
I thought he did say he was betrothed to her earlier on. Or betrothed to somebody. But just didn't give like the nitty-gritty details.
Yeah, doesn't she find out like fully after they've had like sex and stuff?
Yeah, I was gonna say after the pool in the cave, or is it not until like she gets to his city that like she finds out?
No, because she comes out angry and then she gets stung by something.
Oh yeah, so it has to be after the pools.
Yeah,
because then I think that's when they are about to cross the sand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I think after they fool around by the fire, he feels guilty a little bit. And then after they have sex is when he really starts to feel guilty. And he's like, I got to tell her before we get to my house. Before we get home. And so he tells her, and, you know, understandably so. She's very pissed off. But then she gets stung by some kind of like desert animal.
Flower thingy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just pictured the that vine flower plant from Jumanji
Mm-hmm.
that spits the barbs.
Oh yeah.
That's what I thought of.
Yeah. And then as he takes her in his arms and is running her to the city so that they can save her, his marks appear.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun. I pictured this city a lot like Dubai, but with like
I can see that.
black sand. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it made me think of, Dubai. It's like really fancy desert city. And they're all like so technologically advanced, and everyone's really fancy, and they wear really nice clothes. Oh, and he even says like, I don't have to eat or drink water like other people do.
Oh yeah, he's
Yeah.
like a desert lizard.
Yeah, he doesn't have to drink water as often.
Yeah. They're truly like desert people.
Kind of like a camel.
Yeah.
But then I don't know why they're green. Maybe it's like a UV protection thing.
Maybe.
I don't know. Are there UV issues in Clecania?
Because their ecosystem's supposed to be like really good. Like they're, what's it called?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't have much to say about Verakko because I didn't like him that much.
I liked him.
I didn't like all the deceit. That would have that. And then like if I was Lily and I find out this lying asshole turned out to be my mate.
I mean, he was lying to her because he was his marks didn't show up the whole time they were together until she got hurt at the end there. And he knew how wildly independent she was and that she wouldn't want to be stuck there anyway. So he didn't want to give her any reason to be forced to stay there. So I think he just kind of gave her the information that she needed to know, which was like the whole marriages, and some people have been recognized as mates and y'all are descendant from Clecanians and whatnot. Like I don't think she necessarily needed to know that he was betrothed.
I think once they started fooling around and they started to get feelings, she needed to know.
I mean, but he didn't know that she was necessarily catching feelings because she said, I don't want anything serious. I don't want a relationship. She's like, couldn't we date first? Like, I don't want to be in a marriage.
Yeah, because like the end, it's all like he's like, oh, I can't say anything.
Yeah,
because if like they find out that we're mated, they're gonna make her stay, and she doesn't want to. I shouldn't let her like. I don't want her to be forced to say,
Like he hides his mate marks from his mom and everybody else. He paints them so they don't know. And then he's willing to like go to prison or jail or whatever.
Yeah.
Or get sent off planet.
Yeah, sent off planet.
So she doesn't sacrifice her freedom for him.
Yeah. Well, it's because, so the reason because they have a trial to determine whether or not he broke the contract to the future queen of their city.
Yeah.
In front of his mother.
Yeah.
Yeah. It gets to be a whole thing. There's a lot of like drama packed into the last like 10 pages.
Yeah.
But
I know I was really annoyed that like they go to her and his betrothed go to the spa or whatever, and that's where one of the men that works there finds Lily attractive, and like she shuts, not Lily, the future queen, like shuts him down, was like, she's not interested, she's you know, whatever. And then his mommy is the one that like goes to find her to talk about, you know, a potential marriage contract or whatever. And I'm just like, excuse me. And then she's the one that sees him and Verakko and Lily in the hallway being indecent. I'm like, you didn't see them do anything. You just smelt. Which is funny. She's like, I could smell her all over you. And I'm like, they were literally walking side by side. How do you know? that you weren't just...
No, because they were getting frisky in the elevator.
Yeah, but she didn't see them get frisky. She just says she
smelled
them.
I guess she probably smelled Lily's arousal because apparently everyone can smell everything when a human woman is turned on.
So yeah, I was just like, that's crap.
No, but like, okay. Side note though, how would it feel if your boyfriend was like, "Hey, do you want to spend a day at the spa with my fiance?"
I mean, but they don't. It would be one thing if he loved the person he's betrothed to, but it's literally just a contract to him and to her. They barely know each other, so I don't. I mean, as far as relationship go, they're just basically like kind of friends.
I know, but it's just like from an Earth perspective.
Yeah, no, I guess it'd be weird.
It's just so weird. It's like, you're asking me if I want to spend the day with the woman that you're gonna marry?
In Verakko's defense, I don't think he really is friends with too many people in his home city since he's been in Tremonta.
Yeah, I think she was the only one that he trusted to like take her out and to explore the city and stuff. Yeah. So I think she also had to have like an escort with her everywhere.
It's like the man who's done some things to me, and now I have to talk to the woman that you're gonna have babies with. I mean, of course, like at the end, we find out that we already knew that Verakko was her mate, and then he reveals his marks to everyone, and the marriage contract is void, and Lily and Verakko can be together.
Well,
and
he only reveals them because she shows up to... Sorry, the future queen, his betrothed, goes and gets her before his trial starts so she can speak on his behalf, and she knows...
Oh, yeah.
She suspects that they're mates. And so she tells Lily, like, the situation and what's going on, and Lily's like, oh my god, okay, I love him. I don't want him to be sent off planet or whatever. And so when she confesses that, like, we're mates, he can finally that's when he shows his marks.
Yeah.
Everything's all good and happy.
Yay. Yeah, because then they have like a little party with like not a party, like a get together with like Jade and Theo and
Alice.
Yeah, they're at her little house.
Yeah, and Jade and Theo have their baby girl, and he can purr to make her stop crying.
It's so cute.
That was so cute.
Like, Theo, you're such a softie.
I am curious though, like, I don't think they've really said like any children that result from a Clecanian inhuman, you know, is that child gonna have to go through the same like schooling process and be expected to also, like, you know, they had a little... Jade and Theo have a little girl, so is she gonna have to go through the schooling to like become cold and not show emotion or attachment and go through the marriage ceremonies and stuff when she gets older?
Well, funny you say that, because that is a point of that's an issue in Auzed.
No, it's not.
Isn't it? I thought Alex was thinking at some point like those exact thoughts. Wasn't it Alex who was thinking that? Like, if she had a kid, if it was a girl, you know, would the girl have to be brought up like a Clecanian woman?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
I swore I read
but
it.
I know that I know that Alex is like not very like keen on having kids.
Yeah,
I think, and that could be like why.
Because I'm pretty sure she had those thoughts like at some point when Auzed was telling her about the marriage culture.
Yeah, I legit don't remember.
Yeah,
I don't remember that specific detail. All right, should we do description for Auzed?
Well, yeah, let's lead into Auzed.
Before we do that, what do y'all think of the biting in Verakko.
Oh, you know I loved it. Whole borderline vampire shit.
I mean, I'm not gonna say no.
Especially at the end when she's like upset that they have to keep healing it to like make it go away.
Oh yeah.
She's like, I kind of want the bite still there.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's hot, but we can't.
We can't. Oh yeah, he's also has venom, and that's why he bites.
Yeah,
to put the anti-venom.
Yeah, the anti-venom.
I just remembered. Yeah,
goes through his veins.
Yeah, because if it's two of his race, because they're all the same species, they're just different races. If it's two of his race who are having a baby, the male will inject anti-venom into the female, so that if the female becomes pregnant, the baby is compatible with the female's body.
Yeah, the venom of the baby won't affect her.
Yeah.
But for Lily, it's just a fun little thing they do.
Little extra.
Little extra fun. I will say that cave scene, I was like, okay, I can see it.
Yeah. I do like their little date too, because he's tech savvy and the little checkers.
Yeah.
Date that they do is really cute.
He makes a floating checkers game for them.
Yeah, it's really cute.
Okay.
Love it. Okay, well, going into Auzed.
Tempting Auzed, which Auzed is one of Theo's brothers. Theo and Luca's brothers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Alejandra is a survivor. So far, she's lived through abduction, a near drowning, and being lost in an alien forest. She thought things were finally starting to go her way when the most intense, grumpy, and insanely tempting man she's ever seen rescues her from a monster. But sadly, that's just when everything gets even more complicated. Auzed has his orders. He is to find the missing human and deliver her to Tremonta. Getting caught trespassing in Savin territory was not part of the plan. Neither was pretending to be the sexy beauty's fiancé to protect her from forced marriage to a Savin stranger. But here they are. Their relationship was supposed to be fake, but it's not long before they start to wonder if true love and a happily ever after is possible for two star-crossed opposites. And if it is, just how far are they willing to go to claim it?
I don't know. I don't think Auzed's grumpy. He's just very type A.
He's a little grumpy at first.
Mm-hmm.
Well, also because Alex is like, woohoo! And he's like, please stop.
He's very serious.
He is very serious.
He's like the queen's guard.
Yeah, he's
like,
the head guard at
the captain.
The Pearl Temple where all the single women live for Tremonta.
So Alex is our first woman of color in this series. Mm-hmm. She is the Mexicali. Brown skin, dark brown hair. I'm glad, although I am glad at no point does anyone refer to her as spicy. So I'm just glad that didn't happen. It's like, I swear, if they call her spicy or fiery or whatever, like, okay, well, that's enough. And then Auzed, of course, he's like, oh, this is so bad. I can only picture him as like John Smith from Oklahoma.
Oh, I was like, wait, what?
Because he's like, he's tall, like everyone, muscular. And he has like blonde hair and green eyes. So I'm like, oh, John Smith. She's recolonizing the colonizers.
That's funny.
But they meet because Alex starts to run into some trouble with a weird panther.
Yeah, that thing sounded scary.
Venus flytrap face worm monster, and he rescues her from it. And before he goes to fight it, she gives him a little smooch for luck, and he, of course, doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
He's just like, thanks. And later she's like, well, it was in case you died. And he's like, you thought I would fail? And she's like, no, I didn't think you would fail. It's just, it's for luck. And he's like, I don't need it. I am excellent.
Well, to backtrack a little bit, so it starts off with, her after she gets thrown around in the river rapids or whatever, and she finds a cave kind of thing to take shelter in, and something starts to take care of her, and she's like, what the hell? Yeah, you forgot about Wilson, which I pictured as just like this little monkey creature.
But wasn't it so funny when she was like, Kevin's a girl?
Yeah. He's like, I thought you called her Wilson. And she's like, never mind.
Never mind.
And then she starts calling her Wilson Phillips.
Yes.
Kevin's a girl. Yeah, it's like this little night creature.
Has like an elephant trunk.
Yeah.
And it can
and she does her little
roll.
Her little like trumpets and her little toots. It starts to, because Alex is for sure injured from being pushed around the river.
She hit the back of her head or something on like a rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's able to find shelter, but not much else. And then she finds that when she wakes up, she's finding these little cups of water. And it's because of the little creature, the little thing. And so the creature starts leaving her like bugs and other forest snacks so that she can get her strength back. And we find out later that it's like psychically connected.
It's like,
to her.
It's bonded to her.
Yeah.
And it can feel her feelings.
It can feel her feelings. It doesn't feel everything, but it can sense when she's like,
danger,
happy
upset,
or upset or it, good and bad moods.
When she gets trapped by that monster, it goes to get the Sovereign people to help her.
Yeah.
So that's how they catch Auzed and her on their lands and take them in for questioning.
Yeah. Oh, and this monster has like a high-pitched wailing sound that it uses to
like disable its prey.
Disable and kill its prey.
Yeah, no thanks.
And then of course, like, think at one point they're like, that first sound should have killed you.
Oh goodness.
Jeez.
Did y'all hear that?
That was loud.
That was loud.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
So that's happening.
I don't. It is not storming here.
No.
Damn, that was so loud.
Yeah. It scared me. Yeah, it has this high-pitched wailing noise, and again, they're like, it should have killed you the first time, but I guess because she's human, she could like take the first hit. And Auzed gets to it before it's able to scream again, and he puts her in a tree to get her away from it before he like goes to kill it.
Get this.
So do we want to place bets on if you lose power or not?
I'm definitely going to lose the Wi-Fi, I bet.
Oh no.
That terrifies me.
Yeah, I might lose the Wi-Fi.
Let's hope not.
If I freeze, you'll know why. But yeah, and then we find out that this creature that Auzed killed is like on the do not kill list.
Yeah, it's like a sacred
for the Sovereign people.
Yeah,
I can see Auzed's point of view, being frustrated with her.
I mean, she didn't know she crossed over, or that she didn't know that they crossed over into Sovereign territory, or that she was crossed over into Sovereign territory. She was just trying to run from this creature. But he knew, and he's like, we need to go. And she kind of like hesitates to jump out of the tree. And then that's how they get caught on Sovereign lands because she hesitated. So, oh my God. I wonder if that's going to show up, or like if I'll be able to hear that later in the recording.
I'd assume that if we could hear it.
Good time to like do a spooky story right now.
Scary stories to tell in the dark.
And now the rain's coming. It was just thundering and lightning before, but now it's actually raining. So yeah, Auzed and Alex are taken by the Sovereign people to their headquarters, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like this lead guy who's
He's
a dick.
such a dick.
Mm-hmm.
Who wasn't a dick at first when he thought that Alex could possibly be like up for marriage in their city since they found her or whatever. And she's like, no. I'm engaged to that guy.
Yeah.
And then he became like an uber dick after that.
And like, I just picture him like staring at her like,
yeah.
I'm like, okay, creepy. I think if Alex hadn't said they were engaged, then they would have forced her to go through their marriage ceremony.
Yeah.
And then Auzed could be at risk for being imprisoned because he killed their sacred animal and crossed into their territory without authorization.
I think what would have happened would have been, she would have been subjected to their marriage ceremony or whatever. And I think because he mentions at one point, like his defense would have been like it was self-defense to, save her and him, that he would have just been sent back to Tremonta without Alex.
Yeah.
Is what I think would have happened if she hadn't intervened against Auzed's wishes, saying that they were engaged.
Isn't there like ceremony? It's not just the guys that compete. It's the girls too, right?
So that's just the marriage games. Like they have a normal marriage ceremony or whatever, like Tremonta does, but they have the marriage games there in Sovereign. And so the women have to compete to be the like bride for the games. And then the eligible men compete to be the one that wins the games and wins that bride.
Yeah.
So it's like right before I think they have their normal marriage ceremony where it works the same way as Tremonta. So they just have an extra little I don't know, fun with it with a select few. A chosen amount. I shouldn't say few. It sounded like there was quite a bit of men that competed. And everyone there is like super excited that because they all know about the humans, but none of the humans are in their city, so they know that the humans can make mating marks show up. So the agreement that Alex, makes is to present herself basically in public while she's there to give the Sovereign people a chance to meet her and possibly mate or recognize her as a mate or whatever. And she's like, okay, sure, I guess.
That's so stressful.
There would just be a lot of people to have to meet and act like, you wanted to be having that conversation with somebody. And of course, they're all like very like, I don't know, not necessarily all over her, but they'll like try to touch her and they're trying to like take really deep whiffs of her scent because that can also make your mating marks like show up and stuff. And I'm like, honestly, I feel like what we've learned now from 3 books is that they need to be in danger. So someone just needs to push her off one of the balconies in their little tree houses. That might make your mating marks appear.
I'm thinking.
Oh shit. You're still here, but that flickered.
You're still here.
Oh shit.
Oh no.
I'm gonna need you to call your management and be like, I need you to install a backup generator immediately.
Did y'all see that?
Yeah.
Well, I think Lucas Mark showed up because, they already had him like juiced up on hormones and then he saw Alice.
But I think he also
Did
knew
he
that
like smell her?
Yeah, he smelled her, but they were also in like a high stress, not good situation.
Well, Theo, he had a mental block. That's what they said.
Yeah, but his mark showed up after she was taken.
Yes.
She was retaken by.
Yeah, and then Verakko, the mark
when
showed
she was
up
attacked
after
by the plant.
She was attacked. Yeah.
So yeah, all Auzed had to do was push her off the balcony.
Well, I don't think.
Okay, someone else just had to push her off the balcony. There's a netting underneath. She'd be okay.
Yeah, very true.
Well, I said his markings doesn't come until the end, right?
Yeah. His markings show up. Don't they show up in the testing room or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she like takes the blindfold off of him and his eyes have turned black.
Yes.
I love that whole part when we get to that. Like how the I mean, I guess whatever, we can talk about it out of order. I don't care. I guess we shouldn't. Okay, so they're in Sovereign. They have to stay for the marriage.
And we have our forced proximity and fake engagement tropes.
Yes.
Yay.
And
a little furry friend.
And like Grumpy Sunshine also.
Yes.
Yeah, they have to stay for the marriage games. She's agreed to let, the Sovereign people meet her.
Yes.
The king and queen of that city kind of use Auzed and her as like bargaining chips with the Queen of Tremonta to get her to agree to have some of the human females like make a trip to Sovereign and participate like in their marriage ceremony if they're willing, and to meet their people.
Who is the girl in Maxu? Meg. Doesn't she go to she goes to Sovereign for the games.
Yeah,
I think as another bargaining chip. They're like, oh, I'll bring another human over.
They're like, we'll send a human over there to, it'll make Alex feel comfortable and, it'll be another human in y'all's proximity and whatever. And Meg is like more than willing to go. She wants to like travel around and see the different cities on Clecania and meet different people and whatever. I haven't read her book yet, so I don't know her backstory, but it doesn't sound like it's a good one.
No. Well, like Meg even learns how to read the language.
I did think it was sad though that like, so she shows up obviously with like a bodyguard from the Pearl Temple, so it's one of Auzed's people, and he like goes and talks to her and he's like, what are they saying about me, blah blah blah, and she's like, well, they think you're being really selfish and that you're doing all this just to try to get like a wife. And he's like, what? That is not what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to save her life.
She also mentioned that because he's like the main guard guy, he's also exempt from doing the marriages.
Yeah. Yeah, he is exempt from the marriage ceremonies because he is the head guard at the temple.
Yeah, so he like willingly went into a position that would mean he didn't get a chance to marry, which is supposed to be like the goal of everyone.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I guess he's temporarily sterile.
Yeah.
Yes.
Something?
Yes, because of that. Yeah.
So he's basically, I forgot what he called it. There was a term he used or whatever, but
dormant.
Yeah. So yeah, he does that. And I also found it funny that like, all these men go through the husband school and they learn how to cook and take care of their wives and all that kind of stuff. Because he's the head guard and stuff at the temple, like he has not been keeping up with practicing those skills. So he like sucks at cooking.
Yeah.
But I like how he like makes her that bread or whatever every morning for breakfast. And like by the end, she's like, oh, it's gotten better.
I know. And that's like the best compliment she could have given him.
Yeah.
Or like a couple times and she's like, how about we order out? Did y'all see that?
Yeah.
Oh, this is going to be a funny episode to edit. We're just like, for the listeners, it is storming at Liana's place up in Fort Worth. So she keeps flickering on and off out of power. So, but she's still here and it still says you're recording. So
And I don't know if we'll be able to get it like in the recording, but a couple times the thunder has broken through.
It's been
and I haven't even said anything.
It has been very loud, so
yeah.
we'll see how
especially that first one. Yeah. Oh my god.
We'll see how it shows up. But yeah, so they could do the marriage games, whatever. They she makes friends with, so we forgot to mention when they first get taken.
What is her name? Nellie?
Oh, the lady that works there that tries to sway her.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I can't remember either.
And again, I
like her, though.
I did the audiobook, so I can't.
I think it was Nellie. Something Ellie.
But yeah, so when they first get taken, she gets called in to sway them because that head guard dude asshole thinks that they're lying. But she also doesn't like him, so she can tell that Alex wasn't swayed, but she doesn't let on that she knows that she wasn't swayed and whatever. Yeah. So they become friends, and she also becomes friends with like a clothing maker there in Savin, and she meets his sons, and they have like a dinner. Throughout all this,
well, this woman, this friend, I think her name is Nellie. I'm gonna keep calling her Nellie.
Nellie, yeah.
She has been married for like 3 years now. And what did they call her? A Demskiv?
Yeah.
Dimsky, I think is how the audiobook says it.
Yeah. So that means that she has chosen not to re-enter the marriage ceremony and wants to be with her partner indefinitely because they're in love, and it's looked down on and is seen as selfish because, you know, the whole point of this culture is to repopulate, but she decided to not do it. And she's been married before, but she didn't have any
she's
kids,
never had
right?
any kids.
No, yeah.
And then she and her husband just decided, like, hey, we're in love, we like each other, let's keep this going. And a lot of people don't agree with that decision.
So technically Auzed, Luca, Theo's mom, was the same, even though she did have all of them, but she did choose to stay with the same man. So Auzed has kind of conflicting feelings about it. He thinks he does think it's selfish, but at the same time he can see why people do it. And I think he even talks, or he confides in her at one point when he's like, because she's like, we can, like, it's obvious y'all like each other. And he's like, yeah, but, or no, he talks to the husband. Auzed confides in the husband, like, what are you going to do if one day, like, she's recognized by somebody else as, like, a mate? And he's like, well, then I'll cherish the time I got to have with her. And Auzed, then that's when Auzed's like, okay, maybe I should be with Alex. Maybe I should give it a shot.
Yeah, well, because I get it. It's like, you know, be happy with this person for as long as you can. And then if one day stuff changes, at least you would have had it. Instead of being like, damn, I should have had my chance.
Honestly, they seem like a pretty open culture. Like, I feel like if she got recognized by someone as a mate, like, maybe they could just have a throuple kind of situation. Why choose?
Why choose?
Well, and then, like, a mate is mostly for, like, baby purposes.
I mean, yeah, but they also can't be separated. Like, they'll go crazy. And then if it's like a Clecanian and a Clecanian, I imagine they'd both end up going crazy instead of just the Clecanian in a Clecanian human relationship.
At what point do they fool around first? Because I know that Alex is like, let me show you a kiss, and because it was like, we kissed, and she was like, no, we didn't. He's like, yeah, we did. And she's like, no, honey, that wasn't a kiss.
That was a peck. Let me show you how to really kiss.
And then they get into it.
They do. I can't remember.
Yeah, but they don't go all the way.
No, not at that point.
They get really close. They get really close. Also, I love how every Clecanian man who gets a blowjob is like, Oh my god, this is the best thing.
I mean, they all make a point to be like, usually Clecanian women don't do this.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think he does this. He goes, this has never been done. Like, this isn't done. Yeah.
And she just ignores him.
Yeah,
Like,
she's
shut up.
Let me do it.
And then he's like, oh my god.
Well, I think there's one point where they're like, I feel like they're in the house or whatever, sitting on the couch or something, and Wilson's there, and they both start to get like turned on, and Wilson like just hops on out of there. Goes to her nest on top of the roof or whatever.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna just go. You kids have fun.
I thought it was also really cute how Wilson ends up liking Auzed and being kind of bonded to him too.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I like how he's like grumpy towards him at first.
Yeah.
And then I think as they start to get closer, like you can see Wilson as well, like slowly like warming up to him, and it's really cute.
Well, I think it's like within the first few days, Alex comes to find him talking to Wilson, and he's like, I'm just asking for a bit of civility.
Yeah, and he's in the kitchen. And he's got like his back or whatever turned, and he's talking to Wilson, and then Wilson, I guess, like hops on out of there, and she's like, you okay?
Yeah. So him and Alex get it on. They don't go all the way, but they do some fun stuff. And Alex is like, why didn't you come to my bed? And he's like, what do you mean? And she's like, well, we could have done more. And he's like, what? Yeah. She's like, yeah. And he's like, well, what about recovery? And she's like, oh, honey, you were good, but not that good. And he's like, what? Huh? And she's like, human women they can keep going. And then he's like, damn it. And she's like, well, just let you know in case it comes up
future reference.
And then he's like, I didn't know I could come to your bed. And she's like, yeah. Right. But oh my god, when he creates that little like date for them, in that sunroom, and he's like, I will take you now. I was like,
yeah. That wasn't even like a sunroom. That was like a floating like privacy little pool with cabana.
Yeah.
There was like lounge chairs and a pool and drinks and food, and he's like, I'll take you now. And I'd be like, yeah. Like, lean back on that lounge chair. Have at it. I'd be like, finally. I just think it's funny how he just decides to like just get naked, and she's like, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm going for a swim.
I think he's already been drinking at that point too.
Yeah.
I do like,
because he's nervous.
What was it? He takes off her dress or whatever, and like didn't it fall into the pool or something? And then she goes to get it, and she pulls it out, and then she's like, when are we gonna like be done with this? And he goes, I guess when your clothes dry. And then she's like, oops, and drops it back in the water.
Yeah. Well, I just thought it was so cute how he's like, fuck it, I'm gonna have some fun, and then he just gets drunk. To get like, because I guess he gets
a liquid courage.
Yeah, he was nervous.
So then they really go at it, and whew, I'm jealous. Also, I thought it was funny that when they got back to their house, she's like, why don't we do it facing each other? And he's like, that's weird. It's like the most common position.
All the men on Clecania, though, are used to, if they do have any sort of casual hookups, like there's just zero like emotional intimacy whatsoever. So
yeah,
whenever the human women are like you can look at me, we can have a connection, they're like, huh?
Well, I think they also said like with Clecanian women,
oh, they're inside pleasure point is easier to get to from behind.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
Because I think it's deeper.
Yeah.
It's farther in compared to women.
It's just funny to me that missionary is like a novel
Yeah.
concept.
Yeah.
Missionary is kinky. And then we have the other trope, the third act breakup.
That was so sad.
Mm-hmm.
And both of them are not doing well. Alex goes to live in the lily pond place. Auzed, now out of a job.
Yeah,
he moves in with his little brother.
Maxu.
Yeah, Maxu.
Yep.
Which I'm sure is not a good setup. Because Maxu just seems like a dick.
Well, like how, so what's the deal? If she agrees to do a marriage ceremony, then Auzed can have his job back at the temple.
Yes.
So she agrees to it. And then the queen shows up at Maxu's and was like, hey, like, you have your job back because Alex is going to go through a marriage ceremony. And he's like grabbing all his shit and books it to the thing. And then Maxu's like, that's not real, is it? And she's like, no.
No.
I made all that up. And he goes, that was a risk. And she's like, I knew he'd go for her.
I love that the queen is like setting them up.
Yes.
She's probably just tired of Alex moping around the compound.
I mean, it doesn't even sound like she leaves her house.
Yeah. Like they both become so depressed, which I think is a sign of
you being separated from your mate. Yeah. I also found it funny how, so she's at the same marriage ceremony that Vanessa's at. And then Vanessa, like Alex doesn't know that Auzed's going to be there, obviously, because of the agreement. And so she has like her back turned or something. And then Vanessa's like, oh God, that guy looks like shit right now. And Alex turns around. She's like, oh, I want him. She's like,
and Vanessa's just like, all right, are you crazy? But sure.
Because I think also, if I remember correctly, in the testing, she takes his blindfold off or whatever, gets the blindfold off, and then she's like, and he's like, what? And she's like, your eyes are black. And then he looks down at his hands and his marks start to show up. So first the eyes turned black or whatever for him, same with Theo.
Yes.
And then his mark showed up and he's like, mate.
Mate.
Yeah, Theo's eyes were black in the testing room at the very beginning.
And they flash black a couple of times, like while him and Jade were together. And she like just thought it was some sort of, I don't know. It
was just like a Clecanian thing that happened.
His crazy traxy inside.
Because Theo takes a big old whiff of Jade. And then his eyes turn black. But she's just like, okay. She doesn't tell anybody. But of course, Alex and Auzed know what that means.
I do think I liked Auzed better than Verakko in the sense that like, I complained about it last time or whatever about, the timeline overlapping the way it did. So we're rehashing the same information. I felt like a lot that we already knew. So I was just like, oh my God, okay. Going forward, now that I've read through Feiho, I like that the timeline is starting to like pick up where the last one left off or whatever. So like the end of Auzed is the beginning of Feiho, and I hope it continues that way with the rest of them a little bit at least. But I don't know. I was scared to listen to Auzed after Verakko because I was so annoyed with
I skipped over all that stuff.
Like I liked Verakko. I liked the book overall. I really enjoyed it. I think I still gave it like 4 or 5 stars or whatever. Yeah. But I was just annoyed because I was like, we already know all this. Like, get with the program, Lily. So I appreciated that this, even though Alex had to have stuff explained to her or whatever, it didn't seem to be a huge focus in the book or whatever, a main point of the plot. Like she was explained things and she's like, okay. And just like goes on with the plan. She did have a really hard time though, because she did have family back on Earth like her grandma and
she
brother,
has a brother,
and she was never going to get to see her brother's kids, and that was the conversation that Auzed, I guess, overheard, right, with Meg about how she would want to go back to Earth, and Ozed's like, oh, well, fine, fuck you.
Oh, that was another trope. That's another one. Eavesdropping at the wrong time. I don't even know what that's called, but like eavesdropping without context or whatever.
So, but then she realizes, like, when Vanessa's talking to her in the marriage ceremony room thing or whatever, and Vanessa's like, yeah, I'm gonna find a way back to Earth, and then Alex is like, oh, I don't want to leave Ozed. So, and that's when she realizes, like, oh, I'm gonna be.
She offers her like a letter, though. She's like, you can write a letter, and she's like, okay, that's good, you know.
Yep. I like the ending of this one a lot. I like this one better overall than Verakko, but
I at some point like Ozed reminded me of an ex.
I'm sorry.
I know. But no, I did like him. But he and the ex had very similar. Me and the ex and Alex and Ozed had a very similar relationship dynamic. Like, so I was like, but no, I was able to separate it, so it was fine. Okay, so now we have to say Ozed or Verakko. Which one?
Oh, Ozed.
Ozed.
I mean, I like that Verakko is like, you know, my favorite color, but
yeah.
And the biting was sexy, but it's okay. I did like Ozed better. Okay, so out of the 4 so far, so Theo.
Yeah, we have Theo, Luca, Verakko, and Ozed.
What did I say in the text message?
I think in the order of the book, I would just swap out Ozed and
Verakko.
So I think Theo's still my number one. Luca, Ozed, and Verakko would be my order out of those 4.
Yeah, I feel like Theo and Ozed are pretty tied for me. And then Luca, Verakko's last, I think. I don't know. I'm gonna be controversial. I'm gonna say Ozed, then Theo, just because Ozed's more fresh in my mind at the moment. I'm gonna go Ozed, Theo,
Luca, Verakko for me.
Yeah.
Was Ozed your number one, Liana? Ozed, Theo, then Luca, Verakko for you.
See, even though I love my sad boys, I also love the hard exterior, soft interior boys. I love a guy who I have to, like, you know, keep poking at, and then finally he gets.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Chill. Okay, I'll go Ozed, Theo, Verakko, Luca. If I'm gonna go strictly off the men and not the books as a whole. Okay. But we need to talk about not just the ending of Ozed, but like the epilogue or whatever. I don't know. After they have the marriage ceremony and whatnot, and they're together, and he has built them a little house near the woods, and it has like a little nest area for Wilson and protection, so Wilson can get like to and from the forest without getting too much sunshine, because Wilson's very sensitive to UV rays. And then he starts like thinking about like, oh, what if Wilson gets, you know, a mate, and then they have kids or babies, and then, you know, we got to have space for the babies, and I could do this and that and whatever. And I'm like, oh, that's so cute. He's trying to find hobbies and stuff. And now that he's married, you know, he still can't be the head guard of the temple, but now he's doing training for like the guards and all that kind of stuff, and is still getting like fulfillment from that. But now that he's got like extra time, he's like trying out new hobbies and whatnot. And I was like, this is adorable.
Like, I have all this free time. I don't know what to do.
Yeah. So no, definitely Ozed first for me.
Yeah. Well, and then like when he's talking about Wilson and her future family, that's when Alex is like, I want to have babies with this man.
Because she says something like, I don't know when or how to tell him, but Like, I think I want to have kids.
Mm-hmm. And he's just going off on like one of his like nerd rants. And he's like,
Loved it. Loved it.
Auzed is definitely giving Taurus energy. I just have to say that. Very stoic, and I don't know about stubborn, but unmoving. But he's actually a very soft and cuddly guy under all that. But even he didn't know that about himself.
This is true.
And she gets him to laugh, and he's like, I've never laughed this much.
I mean, that's all I've got about those. I was gonna give y'all my opinions of On the Line, but this is already really long. So
it's okay. We'll edit. I want to know.
I loved it. The Snickers scene also was not as bad as you depicted. She sticks it in her vagina twice and then gives it to him. I thought she like had a full on like session in the bathroom.
She masturbates with it.
She just sticks it in twice.
Oh.
And the only reason she got hot and bothered is because she like sticks it in once and then she starts picturing Ozzy, who is the line cook, like watching her. And that's when she gets like all hot and bothered. So she sticks it in a second time and then she puts her clothes back on, goes out and hands it to him. Also, I don't consider what happened between her boyfriend, and his friend a threesome of any kind, because her boyfriend was just sitting there and watched it happen. Like, that wasn't, I think you described it as a non-consensual threesome. And it was straight up, she was passed out on the couch, SA, by his best friend, and he just watched. I'm like, holy shit. Fuck these guys.
Yeah, and then I think he like blames her later and calls her like a whore or something.
Well, he says he does the classic, shit move as a man, like, oh, well, you didn't say no, you must have wanted it. She's like, I was passed out. Like, I was too drunk to do anything. But I don't know. I really liked it. I thought that her finally standing up to her shitty family, up to her boyfriend, and then Ozzy putting her ex-boyfriend's hand in the fryer at work.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
That was like, oh shit. And whatnot. And I like how she's like, or they're like, if you fucking say anything about what happened here, like, we'll report you and whatnot. But yeah, I really liked it. I thought it was cute. And they were like together for 3 months before she says, I love you. So I feel like that's okay. It was a little fast, but the way I read it, I felt like they had, for me personally, enough of an emotional connection for her to have felt that way about him.
Yeah. At least it is, 3 months, unlike Verakko and Auzed, where it was just a week.
Yeah, right.
Also, I forgot that Alex called Auzed Ozzy.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. She does.
And at first he hates it. And then he's like, I want her to call me that for the rest of my life.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to discussing it in book club. I know 2 people have already read it and they both loved it. So we'll see what the rest of them think.
Well, the storm passed.
Oh, that's good. We made it. You made it to the end without losing power.
We made it.
We made it, guys.
All right. Thank you, listener, for joining us. Please rate and review our podcast and follow us on our socials listed in the description. We also have a Discord if anyone wants to join for monthly book discussions. Please email or DM us topics, questions, and book recommendations. Have a lovely day and week. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.